What's up, you guys? Cameron Cornish here, your #1 real estate agent in St. George. And if you've been to Southern Utah lately, one thing you've noticed is that construction is going up like crazy, especially new construction home builds. It's kind of insane how many homes are on the market right now, and inventory is full. So that begs the question, if you're looking to purchase a home right now, what do? New construction build or pre-owned home? Well, there's some pros and cons to both. And in today's video, I'm gonna be talking to you guys about exactly what those pros and cons are to help you make a decision and have the winning edge when it comes to buying a home here in Southern Utah. So come along with me. This is Living in STG. Let's do it. All right, you guys, excited to get on this topic of new construction builds versus pre-owned homes and which one you should choose. So let's get into it. The main reason I wanted to make this video is because of a transaction that I'm helping a friend out with right now. So he's buying this home. We're actually under contract. It's a Salisbury home, which is a bigger builder here in St. George, and they have a ton of tract homes within this neighborhood. But we went out and looked at probably 15 different homes over the past 2 weeks, and a lot of those were pre-owned homes, and we eventually stumbled across this new construction home. And just one thing that we noticed was that a lot of these new construction homes were priced very, very competitive to those pre-owned homes. And so I'm going to go into more detail here soon, but it's like, look, if you're choosing between a home built in 2024, brand new, no one's ever lived in it, I mean, for a lot of people it really is a no-brainer, but there are some cons to it. One of those cons being these new construction home builders really don't care about your cash. I know they say cash is king, but you're probably going to have a better opportunity utilizing that cash and striking up a better deal on a pre-owned home. But enough talking about that. Let's get into those details and talk about those pros and cons. All right, let's get into it, you guys. I'm going to talk to you about some of the pros and cons of buying a new construction home build versus a pre-owned home. And there's definitely some things you're going to want to weigh out if you're in a position to do so right now. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it, especially pertaining to the St. George market. So we'll start with pros with new construction builds first, right? I would say number one, customization. There's definitely some home builders out here right now that will let you customize some things if you get under contract with that home early enough in the build, whether it be the landscaping, the backyard, lighting packages, countertops, cabinets, things like that. So there's definitely some more opportunity to customize that house a little bit more compared to if you were to buy a pre-owned home, obviously. The next thing that comes to my mind is just modern finishes within that house, right? I mean, when you're buying a new home, you're gonna get some of the most up-to-date trends, whether it be an open floor plan or so forth, where if you were to buy a pre-owned home and it doesn't have that, but you want it, you're probably gonna have to do some remodeling, which means you're gonna have to put some money up front right when you buy into that home. And let's just face it, for most home buyers, when you buy that house, you're probably spending majority of the money that you have in reserve, and those first couple of months are a little bit stressful, and you really don't want to spend any more money anywhere else, because that down payment you had to make probably wiped you out. At least that's the way most home buyers are nowadays, right? Builder home warranties is another big plus when it comes to getting a new construction build. Usually there's going to be a 1-year home warranty plan, which will definitely lead to lower repair costs. Whereas if you were to buy a pre-owned home without a home warranty plan, well, you just never know. Something might happen with the HVAC system, or there might be a leak in the roof that just happens out of nowhere, and there's going to be some repair costs to that as well. The last thing that comes to my mind as far as a pro when we're talking about new construction builds is up to code construction, right? One thing that comes to my mind is here in Washington County, all of the new construction builds, you have to have a hot water recirculation pump in the house. It's something the Water Conservancy does out here to make sure we're saving on water. So while most houses you have to turn the faucet on and wait probably 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes before the hot water starts running, all of the new build construction homes out here will have a recirculation pump, so that hot water will start flowing anywhere between 15 to 30 seconds. And so that's definitely some pros when we're talking about that. So now let's talk about some of the cons when we're talking about new construction builds. I would say the first thing that comes to my mind is location, right? A lot of these new construction home builds where you're going to get a good deal within a very competitive price price range, it's usually going to be farther out from the city, which means you're probably going to be driving 15 to 20 minutes to a grocery store or just to get within the city itself. This is something that we encountered when we moved into a home earlier this year, and it was just a little bit farther outside of the city. But again, that's where we saw the best deals at, and we knew there's the most room for growth, which means the most equity. So that could be a pro in that situation, but it's just something you're gonna have to deal with for a certain amount of time. Landscaping and community development is probably another con. I just love more mature neighborhoods. I like seeing big trees and things like that. And when you move into a newer neighborhood like that, especially if there's a bunch of tract homes, they all kind of look cookie cutter, and it's just, the neighborhood is just not as mature. Lastly, and I would say this is probably one of the biggest cons to new construction homes right now, is, limited negotiation, right? I mean, you got to think, these tract home builders want to keep their prices up so they can continue to build and sell homes. So a lot of times they're pretty strict on their listing price. You might be able to get 10 grand off here and there, but in most situations, you're not going to be able to get a really good deal as you would with maybe buying a pre-owned home, right? Especially if you're coming in cash. I have a buyer right now purchasing a new construction home, and he was kind of frustrated that a new home builder wasn't willing to give him a better deal, even though he was coming in all cash. But the way that they see it is they have a lot of inventory. People are buying homes right now. So if he's not the buyer, that's okay. Another one's going to be coming here soon. So they're totally fine holding out until the right buyer comes. That's going to give them a close to asking price offer. I would say that's the last con to new construction builds. At least that's what I could think of. If you can think of any more, make sure you guys put it in the comments. Now, let's talk about pre-owned homes. There's definitely some pros to that. So typically you're going to have lower priced homes that are pre-owned, right? That's definitely one benefit. Like I said, at certain price ranges here in St. George, that's kind of tough. You're gonna run into situations where new construction homes are the same price as a pre-owned home, and sometimes for some people it's a no-brainer what they're gonna choose. But for the most part, a pre-owned home's gonna be cheaper than a new construction build. Another pro is that you can maybe find a pre-owned home in a more established neighborhood. Maybe there's better schools in that neighborhood, or just the look of that neighborhood is gonna be a little bit different. And maybe there's more homes that have more unique characteristics. Maybe you're gonna have a Spanish mission style home right here, and then right across the street you're gonna have a farmhouse style home. And so not all of the homes look the same. I personally love that in neighborhoods, and so that's definitely something else that you can consider a pro. And then last but not least, another pro, more often than not, you're gonna have way more negotiating room in a pre-owned home. Why? Because maybe that seller needs to get that house sold. Maybe they're ready to move. Maybe they have another home that they've been watching. They're afraid that somebody else is going to come in and steal that home, and they're just eager to get their house under contract. Especially if you're a cash buyer, your cash is going to go a lot longer with a pre-owned home than it might be with some of these new construction home builders, right? And so you might be able to ask for 40, 50 grand off and strike up a deal and then just carry on with that transaction. But let's talk about some of the cons. Some of the cons to getting a pre-owned home, right off the bat, what I think of is higher maintenance cost, right? There might be some things when you first move into that house that you're gonna have to take care of. Maybe you're gonna have to replace the flooring or the carpets, or maybe, like I said before, the HVAC isn't working like it should, or the water heater goes out because it's a little bit older. There's definitely some things you're gonna wanna take into consideration there as far as maintenance costs. Outdated designs as well. I mean, you might go into a pre-owned home and say, hey, I don't like the wall textures, or I don't like the flooring in this bathroom, or maybe the shower needs to be completely redone as well. Those are just some other things that you're gonna wanna take into consideration. And then lastly is just less customization, unless you wanna do it yourself. But then again, you're running in that scenario where you're just bought a new house and now you're forking over more money to get it done the way you wanna get it done. So those are just some things to think about. And those are things that we thought about when purchasing a home at the beginning of this year. We ultimately went with a new construction build just because we felt that those pros outweighed some of those cons there. And that's the route that we went for. But however you want to do it is completely up to you. And I'm here to help you with that decision and with that purchase. So again, you guys, hopefully this helps you out. And let me know how I can help you as well throughout this whole process, whether it's just my advice or representing you as an agent. Let me know. I would love to help you any way that I can. So there you guys have it, pros and cons. You guys, speaking of new construction, I'm going to finish with this video and give you guys a quick tour of a new S&S community out in Desert Canyons called The Reserve. And these homes are actually priced extremely well. The home I'm going to show you right here, it's actually listed at $579,000, and it's 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,500 square feet. And it's hard, right, to find homes under $600,000 in St. George this size and this quality build. It doesn't happen, too often. So when you come across a neighborhood like this, I definitely have to highlight it, point it out to some of you guys if this is the price range that you are looking in, because I think you get a lot for what you're paying in this home comparative to a lot of the real estate here in Southern Utah right now. So just a really good thing. Now, usually S&S will let you pick out 4 different items that you can kind of exchange out before the home is built. Whether it's a lighting package, landscaping, I believe it's backsplash and countertops. But in the Reserve, unfortunately, they don't let you do that in this neighborhood. So pretty much what they have picked out, what they have selected is what you're going to get. But still, regardless, I think this is a great deal for a new construction build here in St. George. It's just another example of how a lot of these homes are pretty much competing with some of those pre-owned homes out there right now. So definitely wanted to take a moment to highlight this for you guys. But hey, do me a favor, if you guys like this video and saw value in it, make sure you subscribe to my channel and reach out to me if there's anything I can do to help you with your real estate needs. My phone number is on the bottom right there. And hey, if you've made it this far in the video, I want to thank you for watching it all the way through. I'm going to finish this video off with something that has absolutely nothing to do with real estate, but if you are a gun-toting, freedom-loving American like me, you'll enjoy it. Wish you guys the best. Talk to you next time. God bless.